What's up, everybody? It is Casey with the Rules Podcast, and with me, as always, it's the Dr. Frankenstein. To the monster, it's Jake. How you doing?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I wondered who was going to be the monster here.
I mean, if you look at us, clearly me. I'm always, every time Brie will be like, "Oh, I say something about Frankenstein." I'm like, "Don't you mean the monster?"
I'm sure she loves it.
Yeah. And then online I was looking about Frankenstein related stuff, and then someone was like, well, technically, because the monster does see himself as Frankenstein's son. He is Frankenstein. It's like, fair enough.
Yeah, but if I see myself as your brother, that doesn't make me a Morse.
Yeah, but I didn't, or my mom didn't birth you. Like, but Frankenstein made this guy.
I don't know. I think it's a technicality.
I mean, it is a technicality, but let's just say all of your comics fell together, lightning struck them Golden Age style, and it became a living thing. And they're like, Drake, you're my dad. And you're like, I don't want you. But he's like, no, you're my dad. My last name's Comics Dilly. I mean, he would have a point because, you own the things. You just don't want him now.
Yeah, I definitely don't want him.
Just go back to the way you were. You're my Nightwing collection. I don't want this.
Rick. All right. Well, real quick, Monday Night Football, Casey.
Okay.
We've got the San Francisco 49ers versus the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm going 49ers are going to win, but I'm rooting for the Vikings for our buddy Clint.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Well, I mean, I can see the score.
Oh, okay.
I think the 49ers will probably pull it off, but right now they're down 14-22.
I don't know about you, but the Vikings are feeling 22.
Oh, hey, man. You.
Because Taylor Swift is a big football fan now. That's the most football highlights I've seen this year is Taylor Swift. And it's boy, if I was a football fan, I'd be very annoyed.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I saw a video of her doing a handshake with Patrick Mahomes' wife. I'm like, I know everyone hates her. So this is must be the worst for fans.
The only person that fans hate more than her is Mahomes' brother.
Oh, okay.
Who got arrested. Oh, was he?
Yeah, it was all three of them.
Okay. He was arrested not that long ago. But anyway, yeah. It's pretty bad whenever the official NFL pages are changing shit in their bio to be Chiefs related over this. It's you guys really aren't helping the old tampering accusations when you do shit like this. But whatever. All right. It's time for some trivia. You know the rules. 3 cards, 2 questions per card. Casey will give you a few seconds pause so that you can think of the answer. Up first, Casey, true or false? Hydra created the super adaptoid.
I'm really not sure on this one. So I'm going to say false.
Correct. Who created the super adaptoid?
I'm still not very sure on this because I've not read enough with the super adaptoid, but I'm going to say AIM. No, it was Ultron that made it.
You got it. Nope. It was AIM.
Okay.
I need to look up what the super adaptoid looks like.
You've seen him in Annihilation Conquest.
That guy.
Yeah. He's basically just their version of a Mazo.
Right. Question 2. What spy organization did Emil Blonsky belong to before he became the Abomination?
I mean, with a name like Blonsky, I think it's only got to be one thing. The KGB.
It is indeed.
It's like, actually, it's Marvel's version of KGB, so it's KGC.
Next question. Who was the colorful leader of the planet Sakaar that Hulk led a successful revolt against?
It's like the Red Emperor or some shit. I don't remember his name.
You're close. It's the Red King.
Red King. All right.
True or false? After the assassination of Captain America, Iron Fist becomes the leader of the New Avengers.
False.
Who does become the leader?
I don't remember, but I know it wasn't Iron Fist. Was it Luke Cage?
Yep,
Okay.
it was.
Yeah, that makes
Actually knew
sense
that
because
one.
Bendez was writing it at the time, and he's just giving all sorts of glizzies to old Luke Cage.
You wish Luke were giving him his glizzy.
Yep.
All right, Daredevil finds the Kingpin's presumed dead wife and returns her to the Kingpin. What is her first name?
Vanessa.
It is Vanessa.
I had to think about that one.
And finally, multiple choice if you need it. In what Marvel comic series did Blade first appear?
I'm gonna take the old choices.
Really?
Yeah.
A. Ghost Rider. B. The Tomb of Dracula.
Oh, okay.
C. Marvel Spotlight.
It's the Tomb of Dracula.
It is indeed. Tomb of Dracula, number 10. All right. On to the news. I've got one or two more, so I'm going to start us off. Pretty much all comics news, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting a new Dark Souls comic. I like those. They're fun. It's going to be called Dark Souls The Willow King. It's a 4-issue miniseries coming in January. It'll be written by George Mann and art by Mon House. I can't wait. It's been a little while. It's been a while since we had some Dark Souls.
It's been a while. So really quick, this is just something really stupid that I'm going to share that has nothing to do with that, but you said Willow, so it made me think of it. Back in the day, like Jeff Hardy. Have you heard of Jeff Hardy? He's a pro wrestler.
The Hardy Boys.
Yeah. So Jeff Hardy, he was like dang near like the peak of his like overness, but he got, he had drug issues and he got kicked out of WWE. So he went to TNA and he was like doing
TNA?
stuff. Total nonstop action.
Oh, okay.
He went over there and he's like, yeah, I'm, Jeff Hardy doing my stuff. And like, so they're like doing, like helping out ratings, but then they were starting to hurt again. He's like, guys, I have the perfect idea. I'm not going to look like Jeff Hardy at all anymore. I'm going to go by the name Willow. I'm going to have like an umbrella, paint my face. And it's just like anyone with half a fucking brain was like, this is a terrible idea. He's like, no, I'm going to be Willow.
So he did it?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, it was dumb. Because like that was like around the time when I was like, I'm just done watching this.
Oh, that mask is awful.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand the umbrella and the braids.
Nope.
It's just what was the gimmick?
I don't fucking know, dude. I think he was just on a lot of drugs.
I mean, did people like Willow?
I don't think so. Because then, like, later on, his brother Matt showed up there and he got hit in the head too many times and he started doing the broken gimmick and that got over like crazy. But I don't think Willow was ever overly well liked.
Yep, I can see why. All right, moving right along. Fabian Nizia is going to be doing a Cable book. So, you know, Fabian's a good writer. If you like Cable, I'm sure that's pretty exciting.
Is this adult Cable or kid Cable or like one of those books where it's like, this is stuff from the 90s?
I'm going to be honest. I don't have a fucking clue.
I gotcha.
Any of the X stuff, man, not a clue.
Yeah. I hear you. Okay, so I'll mention Deadpool 3 has officially been delayed due to the SAG-AFTRA strike. No current release date has been set, which it's like, well, we knew this was kind of coming, but it's official now that it's no longer has a release date.
Yep, not surprising. All my stuff's comic stuff. I can just rattle it off at once.
I'll rattle my shit off because mine's kind of, looking for stuff. So Amazon's Gen V is getting a second season. I didn't watch the first one. I just wasn't overly interested in it. I don't know if you checked it out at all or not.
Nope.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even see that last season of The Boys.
Oh, dude, you should. It was good.
I believe it. I just kind of forgot.
Yeah. And then you mentioned, like, I don't know how many weeks back that, Del Toro's doing a Frankenstein movie. And so now we got some casting for it. Andrew Garfield's going to be Frankenstein. Oscar Isaac is going to be the monster. And Mia Goth is going to be the Bride of Frankenstein, which is like, it's kind of weird that they're introducing the Bride of Frankenstein in the first movie. But yeah, it's interesting. I'll say that. I mean, might be good. Like I've mentioned before on this podcast, Oscar Isaac just has a weird sexual tension with everybody he's in a scene with. So it's going to be weird. Like the Bride of Frankenstein pretending not to be into it.
Or Frankenstein himself.
Yeah. It's like, oh, my monster. And he's like, technically, Dad, my name's Frankenstein too.
I really do think that Del Toro is going to do that well.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's going to be like, since they got Oscar Isaac, it's not going to be like the old movie. It's going to be more like the book where which I have not read, but I know like the monster has actually a personality and isn't just like all the time. So I have a feeling it's going to be closer to the book in that sense of it, of him like having thoughts and all that type of shit.
A personality.
Yeah. Be hilarious if it wasn't like they got Oscar Isaac just to like
an obscene amount of money.
Yeah.
Did you
I figure since it's Halloween, we'll finish with the spooky comic recommendation.
Alrighty. Image Comics has a new imprint coming out from old Jeffrey Johns. It's called Ghost Machine. And I think that's what he's been doing. His GI robot book through Image is under this, and that other one, Geiger, with Gary Frank is that too. So I don't know, whatever. That's just a thing that got announced.
It's one of those things with Jeffrey Johnson that it's hard for me. Even if I was a fan, it'd be hard for me to get overly excited because he just takes so long on his books. So it'd be, I think it'd be kind of hard to be like, oh, cool, a whole imprint of his books that are going to take forever to come out for some reason.
I would say about half the people in my shop that had JSA on a poll took it off because of how long it's taking that book to come out. It's 12 fucking issues. It's Doomsday Clock all over again. That guy needs to get his shit like done.
It's crazy because I remember when I like was really getting heavy into comics, Jeff Johns was writing like every other book, and they would come out and they were all pretty darn solid, and then now it's like he's writing one book and it's just like, boy, maybe this will come out.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. I think he's probably just trying so hard to like make it good,
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it's probably like he's probably trying to get stuff that can be, like good studio related stuff, even though he doesn't really have as much responsibilities that way anymore. He's probably still trying to get some script related shit out there and all of that stuff to, because that's where the real money is.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. We're getting a new Constantine series. It's called Constantine Dead in America. It's going to be 8 issues written by Cy Spurrier with art by Aaron Campbell. Cy's Sandman Universe Constantine book won awards. It's supposed to be really good. So if that's your thing, I'm sure, I know Preston's going to be pumped for that. He was a fan of that book too. So yeah, something to look forward to.
I might actually check that out because The Flash has been, I mean, it's only one issue, but it was good. So I'm interested.
Then next up, we've got Dead X-Men, written by Steve Fox. It's about 5 dead mutants that come back for one more mission, baby. It's going to be 4 issues. I don't really... Because I thought with like Krakoa and shit, they can just come back whenever.
Well, currently they all got chased off of Krakoa or something. Because I only know this from Iron Man and Wolverine books, but it's like that's the big thing. Like all the mutants aren't allowed to be on Earth anymore. They're getting hunted.
Oh, whatever. Depending on who they pick for the team, I guess that could be fun.
Hope it's Marrow. Get Marrow, Beak.
Marrow's in Realm of X.
Shoot, never mind. Get Beak and Angel. You can get those 2 terrible characters.
Oh, jeez.
Beak was in Exiles because, like, do you know anything about Beak?
Let me Google him because I want to make sure it's the same guy.
Because it's like,
he looks awful.
Yeah, for those that don't know, he's just a big chicken character. And then when they were like, he literally just doesn't have powers. There's a part in Exiles where there's an evil Hyperion that's just like beating the shit out of the whole team. And Beak runs off because like, what's he gonna do? And he's like, he's like, I don't have any powers, but I do know how to make friends. And so he just got 2 other Hyperions from different universes that come and fight the evil Hyperion instead.
Oh gosh, that is so cheesy.
Reading that as like a freshman in high school though, fucking rad.
I'm sure. I just remember, let me pull this up. Where's the share screen? There we go. This is so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I would even say horrifying.
Yeah.
I don't know what he looked like during the Exiles phase.
But... if you go down, there's an actual picture from an Exile. One more. There it is.
This one?
Yep. That's him in the Exiles, and that's Hyperion right behind him.
They just gave him like a fleshy beak instead?
Yeah.
That's not better. I have to stop looking. I'm going to have nightmares tonight.
Hey, if this episode gets 2,000 likes, Jake will be Beak at C2E2. but the fleshy beak will be made from my skin.
The fuck is wrong with you?
I've been in a tractor by myself all day.
We need to get you somebody to talk to in there. Okay, final bit of news. And it's Star Wars comics news. The Bounty Hunters, the Bounty Hunters series is being canceled, and in its place, we're getting a Jango Fett series. I heard the Bounty Hunters book isn't good, so I would assume that just the cool covers are probably carrying that book. Because the bits that I read, I was like, yeah, this is not good at all, except for like 1 or 2 issues where it was just Bosk killing everybody.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you're a fan of Django, then that's pretty cool. We're also getting a Mace Windu miniseries. He had one back in 2017, maybe. So he's getting a new one. And then the last one we're getting is called Thrawn Alliances, which is a comic adaptation of the Grand Admiral Thrawn novel by Timothy Zahn. And Timothy Zahn is coming back to help write this along with Jody Houser. So that should actually be pretty cool. I read that book a long time ago. Well, it's a trilogy, actually. And it's great. So to see a comic adaptation, I think would be pretty cool.
Right on, dude. So I got like 2 questions. They're Star Wars related. Are you excited for the Peach Momoko Star Wars book that's coming out?
Yeah, I am. I think
And
it's
then,
going to be just an acid trip, but
yeah,
it'll be cool.
And then how do you like Ahsoka so far? Have you watched any of it?
Yeah, I finished it.
Okay. I didn't even know it was done.
Yeah, it finished up 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was good though. I liked it a lot.
Good.
It was just Rebels. It was live action Rebels where they're all older and everybody was casted very well. Spoiler alert, Thrawn shows up in the show.
I knew that. I saw some people complaining online about him.
They have no reason to complain.
Okay.
He was awesome. They actually got the voice actor to play him, and he's a good actor. He's in several other things. Yeah, no, I thought it was great. I loved it.
Right on.
I loved it. I mean, I definitely had some minor gripes, but like overall, I was like very much into it.
You wouldn't be a Star Wars fan if you didn't have gripes.
Yes.
I mean, you kind of hurt your cred without having like a lot of gripes, but you know.
Yeah, you're right. I should have harassed somebody online to the point of quitting social media.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Star Wars fans do. Come on. But so spooky comic book recommendation. We were talking about spooky books the other day, and I kind of forgot this one. This is like one of the best ones that I, after thinking about it. And I wanted to mention it. So as long as you guys are okay with not getting an ending, because this book, it's been on hiatus for a while. Jake, do you know what it is?
Yep, it's Afterlife with Archie.
Absolutely it is. But it is so
as soon
good.
As you did hiatus, I was like, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. I think it's been on, it's hiatus for 5 years now.
They came out like 1 issue 5 years ago.
Yeah. And that was the Christmas special. But yeah, it's super good. It's like the one downside to this book is it is what it's the reason why we have Riverdale. It's just a fun fact because it kind of like proved like, oh, people like a serious Archie. But yeah, I would highly recommend it if you like zombies. But if you're a big Jughead fan and you don't want to see him eating brains, you might want to skip it.
Yeah, a few times I've thought about reading it, but then I think, what's the point?
I mean, it's good.
Right. They just need to finish it. It's insane that it never got finished.
Yeah.
Also, something that we meant to mention last week.
Oh yeah.
Keith Giffen passed away. And I'm pretty frustrated because I had this whole thing saved in my notes and it didn't save.
Oh,
Except I was gonna just do a little biography piece, but this one, like, we've had some crazy legends die in the last few years. This one hit me the hardest. I love Keith Giffen. He was a part of so many great 80s and 90s DC comics that I love. Most importantly, Dr. Fate, Justice League International. I mean, those two books, I could go on and on about them, but they're essential reading, in my opinion, at least the Justice League International. And it's just a damn shame. That was a time in comic books in the 80s where, Frank Miller was coming up in the ranks and everything was going all dark instead of eat your fruits and veggies and stay in school. But Keith kept everything light and not, without sacrificing a serious story. So I don't know. He was just somebody that, like, nobody had anything bad to say about him. The worst anyone's ever said about him was that, he was just like grumpy, but not in a bad way. That was just like his personality. But he was one of the funniest comic writers, and also just came up with some batshit crazy ideas like Ambush Bug and stuff like that. So, it sucks. Rest in peace, Keith. Casey, anything you want to add? Any books of his that you like?
I mean, he's kind of responsible just for both of our mutual love of Blue and Gold.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's, a lot of that falls on him, and just a lot of the these C and D characters that we like, and they're like the personalities that they have now is because of him. And I do want to share his, I don't know if you saw, but his final Facebook post. Like, this is legitimate. Like, after he passed away, what was posted. I told them I was sick. Anything not to go to New York Comic Con. Thanks. Keith Giffen, 1952, 2023.
Yeah. Which is just so damn hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up because I had screenshot that a couple of weeks ago to say, and obviously we forgot last week, and then it fell by the wayside. But yeah, it's a damn shame. He was still writing, and had stuff in the works, but I don't know. Is it that more legends are dying, or is it just is that our perception of things just because we're getting older? You know what I mean?
We're getting older.
Just like, damn, people didn't die before 2016. It's like, no, they did. Anyway. All right, man. What'd you read this week?
All right. So I read Ghost Rider, The Invincible Iron Man, Ghost Rider at number 19, Invincible Iron Man number 11, Superman number 7, She-Hulk number 1, Daredevil number 2, Jay Garrick, The Flash number 1, World's Finest 20, The Incredible Hulk number 5, Green Lantern War Journal number 2, and Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong issue 1. What about you?
I decided to be a nice guy. We sold out of Hulk, and one of my regulars really wanted it, so I gave up my copy and did not get to read it.
Oh man, why'd you guys not? I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but like, why'd you guys sell out of Hulk? I mean, it's
just a hot seller.
It is a hot seller. Okay, I was like, I didn't know if you sold out every week or if this was like, the first week you guys sold out. I'm like, this is such a weird spot to sell out.
I sold out of 1 through 3.
Okay.
I had like 1 copy of 4 left, and then 5 sold out. So It's whatever. I'm getting more, so I will read it. It's just like I almost didn't say anything, but I was like, no, get rid of it. All right. Anyway, I read Daredevil 2, World's Finest 20, Superman 7, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, She-Hulk, Jay Garrick, Red Sonja 4, Crypt of Shadows 1. Did you read Crypt of Shadows?
No.
Okay. Scarlet Witch 9, Moon Knight 28, and Nightwing 107.
No Green Lantern?
Hold up the cover. No, I must have forgot that one.
Oh, okay.
I had a lot this week, man.
Yeah, you're just like, no more Philip Kennedy Johnson for me.
Yeah, I know. It's weird, isn't it?
Well, I think you have probably one more than me, so I'll let you go first, and then.
Okay. Nightwing 107, featuring Sexy Pirate Dick.
Yep. That's got to be the name of the episode. Sexy Pirate Dickcast.
It was fine, honestly. It was fine. I will give Tom Taylor credit when it's due. There's a really funny part where he's on the ship with his ex-girlfriend B, who is the leader of these pirates now. And she's like, if we're going to do this, you can't be dressed up as Nightwing. You got to fit in with the crew. So come on down here. There's a room with some spare clothes in it. So she leaves and he opens up this chest and he comes out dressed like this. She's like, what the hell are you wearing? He's like, this was the only thing that fit from the chest. She's like, the chest, did you not see the cupboard? He's like, I did not. So there was like, she's like, yeah, there were jeans and sneakers, regular people clothes, shirt with buttons. He's like, I'll change. She's like, no, for the rest of the mission, you're going to look like you're from the cover of a romance novel. I'm like, you know what? It's pretty funny.
I actually saw a dude complaining about that on Twitter. And then Tommy T, because he's like, Tom Taylor, you need to understand that Nightwing was trained by the world's greatest detective. He would know to look all over that place. And then someone else was like, well, in my headcanon, he did. He, checked it over for bugs. And then he went with this because it would be funny for him. And then Tom's just like, I mean, if you didn't like the book, I don't know why you're posting this big long sentence about it. But he did it in an Australian accent that I can't do. And then...
Oh, was he Australian?
Tommy T, yeah. Yeah, he's like, oi, governor, why are you even posting?
God. Casey doesn't know anything about language.
And then the guy's like, well, that's because I review comics, Tommy T. And he's like, oh, are you the Two Worlds podcast? Because they're the only guys that call me Tommy T. It's like, no, but I love them. They're very good.
Like, surprise. It was me. Anyway, then of course, Tom Taylor can't write one of these books without making Dick and Babs ultra horny. So she was like, oh, you should wear this back home. Anyway. Then
Nightwing's like, I'm not a piece of meat, Barbara.
Yeah, right. Just wearing this open shirt. But then there's a backup that's like, I like the first part of this backup in the last issue, but this one just wasn't very good at all. And I just don't give a shit about it. And I am not going to talk about it. It just sucked.
Okay.
It's just like him and Jason like fighting these guys that are dressed like the cop from the Village People. And there's one more part. And at the end, none of it's going to fucking matter, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever.
Dick brings up Barbara, and Jason's like, It's like Tommy T keeps that my head canon alive.
People, there was a rumor at New York that they were going to announce a sequel to that.
Good Lord.
It didn't happen, but we'll see.
Like the fourth Joker.
But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7 for a Nightwing book. It was actually fun for once.
Nice. Okay, Ghost Rider number 19 by Benji Percy. That's Benjamin Percy to me, and Corey Smith and Brent Peoples on the art. So we get more backstory on the old goth chick, and they go to this, and then like every once in a while, it goes between her backstory and Ghost Rider and her going to this town where there's the cult of Mephisto, and they're basically just like stopping the cult. And Ghost Rider, being Ghost Rider, was like, oh yeah, they're evil. Like, it's a bunch of kids though. It's like, they're evil. They did bad things. I'm gonna kill them all. And the girl's like, just get rid of their sins, spare them. He's like, why? And she's like, because they're kids. And he's like, fine. And so yeah, he just kind of stops the thing, and like, yeah, he doesn't end up murdering all the kids.
Really, but I'm shocked.
I know. I'm like, man, they're making you soft. All these SJWs not letting you kill kids.
More like woke writer.
Crazy. Oh man, if you guys are really good at Photoshop, make us a woke writer. But no, I actually liked it. I'm gonna go 8.5 or 9 in that area. Like if he killed a few more kids, it'd be a 10.
Sure.
No, it's just like the only downside really is like the hopping around. I'm just not a big fan of that type of storytelling.
Okay, Moon Knight 28. It's written by Jed McKay with art by Federico Sabatini. And it's good stuff. Moon Knight, Hunter's Moon, and old Tigra are the assault team against Zodiac and all these fools. And then Tigra, she steps on a mine and she has to stay behind, and she's like, no, go finish the mission. And he's like, but you're on a mine. She's like, I'll be fine. So he runs off to fight, what's his name? What is his name? Black Spectre. That's who it is. He goes to fight Black Spectre, and then Zodiac, the issue ends with Zodiac in the midnight mission. I guess he's going to try to blow it up or something. It's cool. It's all just leading up to the old Death of Moon Knight here. So for right now, it's just a big old action movie, which I'm not upset about. Art's good. Dialogue's good. Moon Knight and Tigra share a little smooch. The will they won't they finally ended in they will. So I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I liked it.
Right on, man. Okay. Invincible Iron Man number 11 by Gary Duggan and guest artist Andrea DeVito. And then I'm going to bring up the cover artist, Cale McGee, because they wanted to put her butt front and center, but then they're like, it's skin tight, but no, we can't go too hard with the butt. So it's just going to be like the cake, but no line. If that was Dick Grayson, you'd know there'd be a line. There's a double standard. But so yeah, Emma and Tony are on their honeymoon, and they're trying to do all this stuff to get the special medal. Tony fights a gorilla. Yeah, it's fun. It's pretty cool. He makes a cane with his stuff, and he tests it on all the heroes, and stuff's gonna go down. It's gonna be cool. It's kind of like annoying because there's one part where they're like, oh, he's like at Krakoa, and that's being pillaged by people. And he's like, try to find it so I can know. Is it? I only had boots on the ground for a few minutes on the island, but I was left with the strangest sensation that I was not alone. He's right. Someone is protecting the island. See Immortal X-Men for details. I'm not going to. Just tell me who it is.
Yep, I feel
And you're
that.
frozen.
So are you. Can you hear me at least? I could hear you the whole time.
I heard that now. Oh, perfect. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with like a 7.5. It's solid, but it's like there's nothing about it that's making me go like, oh man, this is the best. Jake, you need to read this. You could, and I think you'd probably have an okay time with it, but I don't think it's not gonna, yeah, it's nothing that I'm gonna be like, dude, you have to read this.
I will say, I always like looking at the Kale Goo covers because even though he didn't define Emma's ass well enough right there, all of his covers are just.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm going to blame the editors for that. He probably defined her ass exactly the way the good Lord intended. And then they're like, whoa, too horny.
This isn't a Tom Taylor book.
It's like, that's not Dick Grayson. We can't let her one up him. It's like, but we should. We're direct competitors. Like, no. There's a comics code, and it's all about Dick Grayson's ass.
Okay, Scarlet Witch number 9. Written by Steve Orlando, with art by Lorenzo Tometa and Sarah Pichelli. I am going to give this an incomplete because it was really fake Magneto heavy, and I don't care, and I don't want to read about him. So I'm probably done reading Scarlet Witch as long as he's a big part of it. Which is whatever. I'm not so upset by it. I enjoyed this book while I was reading it. And, it's just to a point where I don't care about this particular arc. I may jump back in if it continues. But we'll see. So, incomplete.
Right on. Green Lantern War Journal number 2. I'll be kind of brief, but we get Philip King, Johnson, and Montos on the art. John Stewart's got a job interview in the city, and it's at Steelworks. And Jay Nakamura is briefly in it. And
really?
Yeah, very briefly. And it's just like, John's reaction to him is kind of like, I personally think everyone that, isn't just like hardcore, like, yeah, representation of anyone that just actually read the character was just like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, it's just, they shook hands and he's like, I'm a big fan. And he's like, huh? And he's like, yeah, you don't have anything to hide. He's like, oh, okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, he tries to convince his mom to move to Metropolis, get attacked by some baddies, and yeah, it's good. Like it's pretty solid. I'm here for the ride on this book. Yeah, there's nothing that's overly bad, but there's also nothing that's like overly grabbing about this issue. Like the first issue was much better than this one, but it's still pretty solid. So I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Very good. Looking forward to reading it, even if it's just okay.
Yeah.
Crypt of Shadows. It's an anthology, which I realize I've said recently that I was done with, but I didn't really realize that's what it was when I picked it up.
Yeah, I Googled it and I found out it was an anthology and Al Ewing's name was on the cover. I'm like, I can pass this one.
Some of the creators are Al Ewing, Paul Davidson, Steve Orlando, Paul Azaceta, Kevin Scott, Devmalia Promanik, Sarah Gailey, Eater Messias, Declan Shalvey, and Alex Lenz. It was pretty cool though. Like Al Ewing just wrote like the beginning, the end, and the between the stories bit.
Mhm.
It's all narrated by Strange's brother, who I guess like died in a car accident or something, but Strange kept him alive in the mirror dimension, which I had no idea about. I don't even know if that's a thing before this book.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, he's the narrator. I don't even know what his name is, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, the mini stories though, there's one about Scarlet Witch that was really good. The art was just fucking great in this one. Kind of a David Aja feel. But that one was about a haunted house, which was pretty cool. And then Kevin Scott wrote one about Deadpool and the Living Mummy, which was a good time. Declan Shalvey did a Daredevil one where Daredevil teamed up with Man-Thing. It was really fucking good. And then Sarah Gailey did a Werewolf by Night where he teams up with Hulk against Kraven. And that was pretty cool too. So honestly, man, this was like the best anthology book I've read in quite some time. It was a lot of fun. And then at the end, kind of makes me wonder if Al Ewing isn't going to be on Doctor Strange sooner rather than later.
Really?
Because it ends with Strange's brother escaping the mirror. And it ends with him saying, "Do I have a story to tell you?" as he's stepping out of the mirror. So,
like to be continued in Immortal Doctor Strange.
well, it says like keep exploring the dark side of the Marvel universe, and then it shows Scarlet Witch, Hulk, and then it shows that same panel and it says Doctor Strange when you least expect it. So all the others had a date, but that one didn't. So that makes me think that it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to give it a 9. It's exactly the kind of Halloween special you want from Marvel. It was cool. Plus, I mean,
Right
what
on.
other book do you get to see those team ups happen?
Yeah. Well, speaking of fun team ups for a Halloween book, we'll talk about The Incredible Hulk #5. It's by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Travel Foreman on the art. I love Travel Foreman's art. It works. I can get where times it doesn't work for people, but works really well for an ooky spooky book like this. And we get Man-Thing teaming up with Hulk. Man-Thing's like, "I want to team up," and Hulk's like, "No, leave me alone." He's like, "Come on, do it." He's like, "Son of a bitch, you talked me into it." And so they team up, and spoiler alert, save the day, and then this person shows up at the end. It's good. I like it. Like, I wasn't really feeling the first 3 issues super well, but I don't know. I think maybe part of it was just the art, and this art just works better for the story for me personally. But I liked it a lot. I'm gonna go 9 out of 10.
Glad that you're coming around on it.
I mean, it's also, I'm gonna say this. Maybe it's just telling too much about me, but it's like, oh, big green shirtless strong guy. Sign me up.
Okay. I think my last one before the Muchies, we've got Red Sonja #4. It's written by Torn Groenbeck with art by Walter Giovanni. I'm not really going to get into it because nobody's going to know what the hell I'm talking about. But there's dark magic and, body possession. And Sonja's just trying to make sense of all of it and trying to learn who to trust or who she's forced to work for right now. And then at the end, Kulan Goth makes a return. He's just a sorcerer character, like any sorcerer that pops up in Conan or anything like that. So it's cool. I'm still digging it. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
Nice, dude. Okay, so here is the order that I've decided in. World's Finest, Sensational She-Hulk, the Garrick Flash, Daredevil, Superman, and then Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. Sound good?
Yes. Daredevil, Superman, Justice League.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, start with World's Finest, The Return to Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. Flash starts us off, you get some Flash, and then you get the old Superman and Batman going to the Kingdom Come verse. What'd you think, man?
I liked it. It makes me want to go read Kingdom Come again.
Yeah, I mean, there's one part where I'm like, I don't think this happened in Kingdom Come. But I could be wrong. I think Red Robin lived. I'm almost positive he lived.
I thought he did too. But we don't know when in this universe this happens, right?
Yeah, but so the end is like them at the mass grave for all the people that died at the end. And I'm almost positive that Red Robin, lived. I think it's hilarious though. I just like the thought of like Batman have his hand on the Red Robin thing and like Superman's like, "Oh, you a fan of the restaurant?"
I mean, it is early on in their friendship.
But yeah, no, I love
Would
it.
you? Sorry.
I just love that they go to the Booster Gold restaurant and stuff.
Yes.
Oh, that was great.
The nods to the steak.
Yeah.
What did you think of Lightning Man's costume?
I thought it was cool. It worked for what it, the
it's
last
so
one.
90s.
Oh yeah. I love the
So
90s aesthetic though.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. The restaurant stuff was always super cool. I love seeing Dan Mora draw the Kingdom Come verse.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I was a big fan.
It is funny to me though that it's like the last time they saw, the Kid Thunder, face is all fucked up, scarred all to hell, and then they see him in this future and they're like, "How did he get those scars?" It's like, well, I assumed it was Joker, bud. Like, are we thinking he healed from that? Like, because
right.
I was just assuming that's what happened.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I'm gonna go an 8 because it's like I really do think Mark just forgot certain things from Kingdom Come because he probably hasn't read it as many times as we have. But yeah, I liked it though.
I'm probably like a 9.
Right on.
It's not perfect, but it's still really fucking good.
Yeah.
Okay, Sensational She-Hulk #1. Written by Rainbow Rowell with art by Andre Ginolette. I mean, it just read like fucking issue 17 or whatever of the last series.
I agree. I liked it. There's nothing really bad to say about it. The backup story was a good bit of fun too. Like, I mean, it was like obvious what was going to happen, but at the same time, like, I know exactly where they're going with this. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was right. But it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was good. I like the final page of the normal story. I'm curious what Hulk is going to... Well, spoiler alert, Hulk shows up.
Yeah.
I'm curious what Hulk's going to want. The only thing that I am getting a little tired of, man, is the Jack and Jen stuff. It's like, how many more issues are we going to get whiny Jack?
Yeah.
It's like, just go all in, man.
I know. You got that muscle mommy. You just got to go for it.
Yep. Like, it was fine for that arc, but We've had a few since then.
Yeah. And we're not jealous. That's not why we're getting tired of it. I swear.
What are you gonna rate it?
I'm at a 9. I missed that book. It was a good time.
Yep, I'm about the same, I think.
Okay, so next up is Jay Garrick, The Flash. I'm gonna try to find. I was trying to find the artist, but I know Jeremy Adams is writing it. Oh, it's right on the first page. Diego Ortegua. Do you think that sounds good, or do you want to try?
Sure. Nah, that's good enough, I think.
All right. I actually love this book. What did you think? I think the art's great, and I love the way Jay's written, and yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. Okay. The first time it happens when they were like, well, we don't have a daughter, we can't have kids. I was like, am I missing a page? Like, I had to go back and read it again, and then I was like, I'll just read it. I'm sure we'll come back around to it. Sure enough, we do. But it really took me out of it for a second because it was just so abrupt. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, see, I mean, I kind of knew what they were doing because I read the Stargirl series where like she got taken, and like everyone forgot about her and all the other kids that got taken. So I knew what they were doing with that part. Yeah, I really, really loved it. Like, there's the one plus side of me reading a Jeffrey Johnson book was that it was like, oh yeah, this is what's going on. And it's really neat. Just, yeah, I love Jay Garrick though. So
I did too. And I like Judy, but man, I'm really not trying to poo-poo on this book because I thought it was really good. It's like, holy shit, another speedster.
Yeah, we have this page right here where it's like the whole family. We get another one added to it.
Dude, are they not past Bat people at this point? They gotta be damn close.
I mean, I don't think they are just because it's like all of Batman Inc.
I'm talking the close family.
Okay, I mean, well, in all fairness, Avery, the Chinese Flash girl, is like she's close to Wallace, but I don't think she's hanging out with them all.
The point is, it's not far off.
Yeah, but I loved it. I actually like. This is the thing. I'm gonna talk about the Alan Scott book for a little bit. These backups that they are showing for this book were terrible. I was kind of like looking at it, like, I am not excited for this. I'm going to read it because I like the Flash, I like Jay Garrick, and I like Jeremy Adams. And then I read this and holy crap, this is awesome. I absolutely love this, And so now I'm like, when I look at the Alan Scott one, I'm like, this doesn't look good. And so now I'm like, well, maybe it's gonna be. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I haven't read any of them. I'm gonna read the books or whatever.
Yeah, they put it back there. Let's see what they got. I'm like, this is what you got. Come on. But I think it's this was super good to me. So it's my pick of the week, and it's a 10.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I liked it,
but you weren't in life with it.
Correct. Daredevil #2, written by Saladin Ahmed with art by Aaron Cooter. I liked this one better than the first issue.
Same. My one downside really with this book is it's just it's like, oh, how long is he not going to be Daredevil? How long is he going to, not have his memories? And now he's like, I used to be Daredevil. I was also Matt Murdock, a lawyer. It's like, oh, not going to last long, is it? Okay.
Yeah. I get that. But I really do like all the little character moments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's just he's good guy Matt. He's helping out these kids. And I like their dynamic. I like that they're honestly like little shits, but they're good little shits.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I like it a lot. The first issue was kind of weird with the, possession and all that, but this was just more street level good Daredevil.
Yeah. I think we're gonna get more of the possession stuff. But
Yeah.
no, I think this is like I think Zdarsky's run on Daredevil was like one of those epic runs that you get on books, and like this is like a perfectly fine Daredevil book. Like there's not, it's not like anything that's gonna make people go like, "Oh, this is the best," but it's also like, no, this is. I was thinking
It's
about
the
it.
Charles Soule to Mark Waid, huh?
Not even that. Like it, because like Charles Soule is like such a completely different change up. Like this would be like, what's your favorite drink? Like just ever.
Coffee.
Okay, so it's like you're just drinking coffee. Like, yeah, you're pounding coffees. You're just so happy with coffee. Then you get a nice cold water. You're like, this is still good. It's nothing that you're going to be like, I am blown away by this artisan water, but you're going to be like, I like this. I needed something refreshing, So it's nice. And saying that, I'm going to give it another 8. I'm giving lots of 8s this week.
I mean, that's where I'm at too. I think that's a good spot.
Okay, and then Superman issue 7, Legacy issue 850, by Joshua Williamson and artists Gleb Melenikov and Dan Jurgens. I mean, we get more of the chain guy.
Did you like the chain guy?
I mean, not really. It's just another one of those things where it's like, hey, remember this guy? You don't, because no one does or whatever.
Right.
But I will say it's crazy that Gleb can give us stuff like this, where you're like, oh, wow, he maybe is talented. And then he gives you like
chain guy.
This.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow, someone was just looking at John Romita Jr. was like, let's make it worse. I was making that face before we got on the air.
Okay, all jokes aside, though, that's like back to good, I think.
No, I think it is too. I just like the face because it's poop. But then this one, like,
that's fine. Oh, I thought you meant the Kara. I like the Kara.
No, the Kara's fine. The Superboy is not.
Yeah, I actually think the book improved at the back when it goes to Dan Jurgens.
Yeah.
The whole dude, we complain about this all the time. It's like with Chain Guy. He's been here the whole time and you didn't know. You know who else has been here the whole time and you didn't know? Lex's daughter.
Yeah.
Like what? Unless I just haven't read that issue, which that's a good possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think that was a thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not saying I disliked it. I think this book reads really well. It's a good book. And you see where Lex gets his personality from. I just want to see how it plays out because I trust Williamson enough.
I trust Williamson enough, but I'm still like this arc. It's not doing it for me. I know it's just like the first arc was fun because it was like, oh yeah, here's some C-list characters that we don't see very often, and this one's like, here's Chain Guy. He's very strong. These other Kryptonians have no shot against him. It's like, what? Like, it's just, it's pretty lame.
What do you think about, where is it? That last part with Brainiac and the Zarnians.
I think it's weird that there's more Zarnians out there since Lobo's supposed to kill them all.
Right.
But
I really like that art, though.
Yeah, the art's really cool. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things where it's like, this is not correct, actually.
I think it'd be funny if whenever this happens in the backup in whatever Superman that Lobo just comes and he's like, oh, I missed some, and just fucking kills him.
I think it would have been funny because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but Lobo's like a mutated Zarnian too. So like the other ones aren't anything, aren't really like him. So I don't know, it's just kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But I wish instead of having the 3, it would have been like Twilight Lobo instead. So we could finally see that one come back. And then we could get Lobo versus Lobo finally again. Because like when the first issue of that Lobo book, he killed good Lobo. But then they're like, we're just going to ignore that because no one read that book.
I really can't stand how Chain Guy is just this. He's just shaded out. He's just a shaded out floating corpse, essentially.
Yeah.
He just dangles.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you watch Chappelle's Show?
Very little.
Okay. I'm sure you've seen the Rick James sketch.
Oh, yeah. You've shown it to me.
Okay. When Chappelle is crawling on the floor as Rick because his legs got beat up, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That is what Chain Guy's legs look like any scene that he's just flying there. And so every time I saw that panel, I just thought of the Chappelle skit. But yeah. Anyway, I think I like this more than you. I'm at like an 8.5.
I'm probably at a 5 again. I think that's what I gave the last issue. It's just like the story itself, it's not really capturing me like the last one did. We were going so high, and now it's like, and then Gleb's art. So yeah,
I want to believe that Jamal Campbell, just needed a break and will be back soon. I hope
he had to. I mean, you saw his panels; they were insane.
Yeah. All right. Which brings us to the final book, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. It's written by Brian Buccellato, and the art is must be on the final page, maybe? Yeah? Okay. Oh, yeah, it is. Art is by Christian Deuce. Really, I mean, they should have just called this book Justice League #1.
Yeah.
Because there is hardly any of the other 2 parts in it.
Yep.
I was disappointed personally. I don't give a fuck what the Justice League is doing in this book, man. I want the Justice League fighting Godzilla, who's fighting Kong. I don't care about the setup.
See, I don't like, it didn't bother me at all. Like, I mean, we need the boring setup, and it's like this boring setup is better than when it's regular people. We're getting it with characters that we know and we like a lot. So didn't really bother me.
I'll say the Toy Man thing was funny. You know?
And I will say, like, I don't know why they had Hawk Girl here, because it's like all she really did the whole book didn't even get like hardly anything she got to say. It was just I blocked his toy with my mace, and that's it. It's like kind of a waste.
You just hate Hawk Girl.
No, not even that. I mean, I didn't care much for her in the TV show because they owe Peter like none other. But in this, it's just like Flash and Green Lantern said a lot. Wonder Woman said a little bit. Hawk Girl, one bubble.
Right.
She just seemed a little unnecessary in this book. If this is like just toss her in. Maybe she's the one that she uses her mace. She gets the Justice League Unlimited buffer and uses her mace and beats Batman and Kong, or Godzilla and Kong herself.
That would be funny.
Actually, I would laugh.
I did like some of the conversations Clark was having with his friends about, proposing to Lois, and at the end of the day, I wanted something more. I will say, this is like one of the coolest looking Godzillas we've ever gotten. That's just a me thing. I love this.
I think it looks awesome. I think that scene is awesome. I'm into it. Like, I honestly really liked everything about it. You know, no complaints from this Godzilla fan. Who, if you can look in the background, you can see Godzilla versus Kong.
You need a little Justice League, like 3/4 inch figures.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I was gonna show you off like the different covers and in order of favorites. So this is, I like this one. This one, the coolest part though is the wraparound, the whole wraparound, because it's like it's just a cool standard cover. And then this is just so dumb and awesome, Godzilla mech. And then I love a foil cover. That's great. But this one, that's just too fucking cool.
Agreed. Totally agree. I love Fate front and center there.
Yeah.
My question is, I could be wrong. I feel like that maybe sometimes Godzilla, like Superman, is written to be as strong as he needs to be to win the fight.
100%, and as weak as he needs to be. This is the same.
Who wins the fight is my question.
Between
Superman and Godzilla.
Superman should. I mean, like that's the thing. Like they put this on a special universe, so we don't really know the peak of Superman's powers in this specific universe, but it should be Superman. But at the same time, Godzilla is the same character who, in one movie, you know, was like getting hurt. You know, was getting hurt by human stuff, and then the next couple movies, he's flying by shooting his flame breath at the ground. He's as strong as he needs to be.
If both are like at their peak,
Superman, bud. I mean, he like sneezes and destroys universes at his peak. Like Silver Age Superman was.
I've not seen every Godzilla movie. There could be some crazy Godzilla shit where he does the same thing.
I mean, there's some crazy Godzilla stuff, but it's still like Superman, like Silver Age Superman was something else.
Right on. Oh, what did you rate it?
Oh, I'm gonna go a 9. I had a good time with it.
I'm gonna go 6.
So, what are you excited for?
Witcher Wild Animals #2. Let's see here. Probably Action Comics. And I'll say Immortal Thor.
I'm going to say Alan Scott Green Lantern. Timmy Shares posted a big thing about why people should be reading it, because I guess comic skaters are trying to bully him because it's gay, because the book's gay. So, you know, give that a read. You know, acquaintance of the podcast, because he never came on, even though he seemed to show interest in the DMs I sent him.
Come on, Timmy.
Well, he said that it had to be done through DC, so they were supposed to email us. I don't know if he ever passed the email on or not. Then Marvel Unleashed. It's just fun. And then I'm gonna go Flash. I like Flash a lot. But so I was listening to this podcast, okay, and they were talking about there's like a giant monster movie podcast. They were going through the different monster movies throughout the years, and they got to the Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. You know, that one where it's like, I don't think you've seen it. I've not seen it, but we've both seen the cover, the poster for it, because it's like an iconic poster. You know what I'm talking about, with the lady I guess it's this giant woman standing on a freeway in like a white bikini.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And so it's like, you know, I was just thinking to myself, what are like the 4, in your opinion, most iconic comic book covers?
Gosh, that's such a loaded question. I feel like it's going to be different for everybody, but Action Comics #1, Amazing Spider-Man 300. Probably that issue of Detective where Batman and Robin are swinging. I don't know if that's 27 or not. But whatever, that one. And can't decide if I should go like Amazing Fantasy 15 or like Fantastic Four #1, like something old school like that.
Yeah.
Or something so mass produced like X-Men #1 from 1990, you know what I mean? So I'll just one of those.
Okay. 2 of those were on my list, the Fantastic Four and Amazing Fantasy, but I'll say Hulk 340. I pulled up the picture of it, but it's the issue where Wolverine has got the claw. Like, fucking cool ass cover.
That one crossed my mind.
And then the issue of Green Lantern, I don't know the number, but the Green Lantern and Green Arrow, when he's, Green Lantern's got the ring in there and Green Arrow shooting the lantern. That one, sticks out to me a lot. I think because you took my my big DC one of Action Comics, because that's like such an obvious one.
I mean, I think that and Spider-Man 300 are the 2 most, homage covers of all time.
Yeah. I'll go with the old Crisis one.
Mm-hmm.
So Superman holding his cousin. Avengers. Like, if we're going homage, also the Avengers #1 cover. Because I mean, Thunderstrike did it better, but
I would even argue, is it? No, it's Avengers. Yeah, I can't think of. It was either Uncanny or maybe Avengers, where they're like going head to head. You know what I'm talking about? It's on like fucking metal signs and shit all the time.
What do you mean they're going head to head, and who?
I'm trying to find it real quick so that I can share the screen. Maybe it's not Avengers. Maybe it's just the X-Men.
Oh, are you talking about the it was Chris Claremont era. It was Dark Phoenix is in the middle, and it's one side the X-Men, the other side the Hellfire Club.
No, here it is. X-Men 100. You'll know it as soon as you see this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that one.
But I feel like that's a big one too. Although, I think 101 is the Phoenix cover. Yeah.
No, not that.
Not Phoenix. Well, yeah, that's her first appearance. But I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, because that one's like her in the middle.
Yeah, I thought maybe it would pop up. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there are lots and lots.
And tell us your favorites down below, and tell us why it's Action Comics #1 probably.
All right, guys, that brings us to the end of the episode. So closing plugs, head on over to facebook.com/twoworldspodcast and give the page a like. You can follow us on TwitX at 2_worlds_
Call it
PC.
Twix.
Twix. I gotta say something different every time.
Yeah.
And on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, head on over to the YouTube channel. We are 2 Worlds Podcast on YouTube, and subscribe.
Leave us a comment down below. Tell us, if you agreed with our views on the comics this week. If what you think is most iconic. I don't know. Whatever else you want to leave a comment on, just do it. I don't mind. But do them like multiple comments, because the more comments, the better the algorithm. Better the algorithm, the more likely Mark Cuban is going to give us money. That's a reference to the YouTube page. But we'd love to say in chat, but Jake's going to make me a wife that, will inevitably be disgusted by me and scream, and I'll destroy everything out of rage. That's a spoiler for a movie that came out, I think, in 1940 something. Bye, guys.
Bye.